Intuition, by definition, is a thought before your brain overcomplicates it. I believe intuition is the roadmap to your personal happiness and success. Allow this awesome conversation to inspire you to just be more of you. I'm your host, Jimmy Ward Mize, and welcome to Inspired by Jimmy M. All right, good day, everyone, and welcome to another Positivity Conversation, episode 22, which is kind of weird.
Like, oh, wow.
I know, it's weird, blowing my mind. But everyone, welcome to the show. I got a new guest on. This is a different take on a guest that, or a different type of guest than we've ever had on the show before. Sutton actually joins me. Like, I literally walk alongside him in this positivity journey. He's a YouTuber. He's on Instagram. And I want to definitely welcome Sutton to the show. And Sutton, thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Well, we'll jump right into it again. Just, I know you're going to answer as honest as possible, but I really want to dig into your mindset.
Absolutely.
I know my why and I know my reasonings, and to kind of come alongside you and just know that you're out there realistically doing the exact same thing. Like, I really want to dig into that. And I typically start these off with a relatively dark question. Okay. So bear with me. Okay.
No, hit it.
But do you believe that people have to suffer in order to grow?
Wow. I've actually never thought about that question, and I've never thought about it from that perspective. But I would say yes. I think that my most positive moments have came from my darkest times or from my lowest moments. Whether it's, I think it's because when everything is good and everything is great, I guess you don't realize, I guess you don't feel the need. Maybe you can get content, and maybe you don't feel the need to, grow or to overcome something. And I think that when you have to grow and you're forced to overcome things, that's when you truly see the person you are, and that's when you're able to level up.
Level up, I actually like that. So another I interviewed, he used that term. I love that, and he actually he used the game, the Mario Brothers, and leveling up with the different things.
There you go.
That was his analogy. So I love that. So okay, so what was probably the biggest thing that you had to overcome?
Easily the biggest thing I've had to overcome was stop caring what other people think. And it's something that I think so many of us, and obviously, as I said, myself included, have to deal with. And it's something that when you grow up, middle school, high school, even elementary school, I guess if you get hit early enough, you really get accustomed to trying to, impress, whether it's the girl, the guy, the friends, the friend group. You're really transitioned, or I guess, into thinking, you've got to be doing things to impress other people. And the sooner you can get over that, the sooner that you can become exactly, who you want to be and who you are as a person is really when you can start to, thrive being who you are. And that was very difficult for me to overcome. And I would say that, it's something that nobody ever truly overcomes. We just get better at it. And I think that up until even, I would say, a couple months ago, started 2018 is when I truly got to a point where I was actually internally and mentally happy with where I was at in terms of not, caring what people thought or not worrying about other people's opinions when it comes to my actions and everything like that. And that's really reflective. If you look at my page, I think it's been up for a year now, May 2017, which is crazy how fast a year goes by. Time is flying. But if you look at the way that the content was released, for the first 6, probably 7 months, it was like I did one video on YouTube, I did a couple posts here and there. But it was because I was still so structured and so worried about the lighting had to be right, the delivery had to be right. I was kind of scripting as opposed to just talking. And if you look at, 2018, it's been content, execution. And that's a direct reflection of me finally getting over that hurdle and finally getting to a point where I'm uber comfortable with, I'm going to put it out there and the market's going to be the market. I am who I am, and that's how it's going to be. So
I love that you said that. I love Okay, let me ask you this first, because like you talking, you like brought up like 15,000 questions,
No, it's
and they're
great.
all like just rushing through my mind right now. But okay, so first off, do you reveal your age? Have you done that?
Yes. I mean, I don't know if I specifically have ever said it, but I don't hide it. I'm 22, turning 23 in September.
So it took you almost 22 years, or 22 years, almost 23 years,
Yes.
to finally get a little bit more comfortable with just being you and not caring about what the world says.
Yeah, I would certainly put it that way. And it's not ever been so much the world. And I still think that in the grand scheme of things, I have been more comfortable with myself than many are. But still, to get to that point of truly, I've still had my own hesitations in that.
Yeah.
And I would say absolutely, like 22 and a half years to truly get to a point of, not caring. And as I said, it's not so much the world. I've never had worries about, if I get 120, 200 views, 300 views on a video. I've never really cared about the 200, 300 views. Okay. It's been the 15, 20 views of the people that I know that, of the people that, and it's crazy to think about it like that, right? But those are the opinions that you like, that, no, it's perfect. Yeah, that you worry about. And it's so crazy now in this mindset to think about it. But that's what was holding me back. And it took me a while to realize that was even it, But yeah, I would certainly say so. So
I will say that I'm jealous. I am so jealous. Because like I'm 31. And I didn't discover that until last year, 2017, where
but everyone's path is different. And 31 years young. I mean, like it's like you still have what 50, 60 years of being.
Oh, dude! Oh, I am not slowing down by
no. I'm sure it's only picking up.
And it is, because I'm just now starting. Like I've always been a confident person, but I'm just now starting to be able to articulate and vocalize how I'm able to just be me.
Absolutely.
So
an awesome.
I never shared my age because of the corporate job that I had. People that were reported to me have always been much, much older. So I never, ever revealed my actual age.
See, and I've always taken pride in that. And that's something that we can also, obviously go into. I don't know what you know about my background, but I've worked in the corporate world or in the office life world since I was 17. And I've always embraced that. I've always, put that on a pedestal as opposed to doing it the other way, because you're right. It is an odd thing, and having people, that either report to you or you work directly with who are a lot older than you, it is kind of odd. But I think that you can go about it one or two ways. And I think that embracing it and, truly, putting it on a pedestal builds a greater respect from your peers as opposed to going about it the other way.
So, okay, let me ask you this then. Just being completely transparent and realistic. Everyone doesn't have that confidence level. And embracing that could be a struggle. Mm-hmm. So in your personal opinion, how can you coach someone through that, or how can you assist or aid someone in kind of dealing with that and kind of facing that head on?
It depends on what level you want to look at it, but from just an absolute macro, what's the alternative? Do you want to be able to, rise through the ranks, and do you want to be able to get respect from people? Then that's really the way you got to go about it. It's just it's in the working force. It is a dog eat dog world. Everyone is out there for themselves at the end of the day. So if you're not out there, fighting for the respect that you feel you deserve, and and getting that type of respect's an interesting word, but just that respect from your peers that you deserve to be there, because there's a lot of people. It's always a crowded job world. And if you're not out there saying, I do deserve to be here, and I don't care that this is my age, I actually think that it's more impressive that I've been able to get here at this point. I think that you're going to be thrown to the wolves. So I think you have to have that. And it's not a dog-eat-dog mentality as in I'm going to overtake someone, or I'm going to, or that I'm better, or any sort of sense like that, but that I'm going to hold my own and respect it and understand that I'm here because I am the most qualified at doing this. And I think that there's no alternative. And you can go into different micros and say, well, you can, level up your confidence in this way, or you should, and being more, and having greater self-esteem and going into those talks. But just from the macro aspect of it, I think what's the alternative?
So okay, gearing it back around towards your positivity and in your videos, like So what drove you to even want to start doing this type of content?
That's actually, yeah, no, it's an awesome question. So how Your Average Sutton came to be was that I was seeing a lot of stuff on social media, whether Instagram, Facebook. We're in an entrepreneur-driven world right now. You have to be an entrepreneur. That's what all the popular Instagram pages are, all those garbage pages. I know you see them with the money on the bed, the private jets, the Rolls-Royce Phantoms, whatever, with the uber generic quote over it, whatever, like, like work to, hustle today, blah, 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 all that, like,
I'm rich,
basically just denouncing 95% of the people who are in the working class. And I went, it's a load of garbage. And I started getting into listening to Gary Vee and kind of his message and stuff. And still a little bit, he's for everyone, but still it resonates with a lot of entrepreneurs, and kind of a lot of his content is centered on that. So I kind of thought to myself, well, there's nothing out there for the average Joe. Like, and I am your average Joe, so that's how Your Average Sutton came into play.
Okay.
Letting people know that you can be. I truly would argue with anyone, and argue in a great way, not a sense of, but that I am the happiest person on. I really do feel like I'm the most well-off, happiest person on the face of the earth. I live my best life each and every day. And people can be equal with me, but nobody's above me in that regard. So, and I'm not an entrepreneur in the general sense of it. I work a 9 to 5. I love my job. I've went through the ranks in the accounting world, which is, the corporate world that's so evil, and, and it's just, I just thought that there was a large audience out there who isn't being fed the correct or valid information, I guess. And it just made a lot of sense to me to do.
And honestly, that was, mine was a little different, but along the same lines. Again, it was back to my confidence. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I had so much of it, and I was just like, hell, I want other people to be just as confident,
Absolutely. I like if I can make one person, feel this way about their lives the way that I do mine, that's really all I need. That's the only return that I'll need from it. And hey, I completely do not mean to, I don't know if you can pause and start up again. My phone's at literally 2%. I did not plan for this well enough at all. Is that okay if we take a 10-minute break?
You did this on purpose.
I'm so sorry. No, I swear, you have as much of my time as you want, but can I just take like a 10-minute break to charge up, and we can come right back to it?
Totally fine. I'll go ahead and pause it here. I will not be editing this out. We talked.
No. Feel free to keep it on me. This is on me. I want you to keep this in. This is a rookie mistake. So
I got you. No problem. Just message me back, and we'll go ahead and start back.
Excellent. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right. No. All right.
My sincerest apologies. Back. I will fall on that sword.
Wow, dude. I'm with that. Is a rookie mistake, though.
No, it's absolutely amateur hour, and that's completely on me.
That is completely a rookie mistake.
I'm going to make sure I'm fully charged up from now on.
Going forward, man. But it's okay. I definitely I appreciate your time, and I promise you, this has been fun. It's not just entertaining.
Yeah, no. I love it. Now you've got it. I'm at 20-some% now. I tried to get a little bit of charge back.
Whoa.
I know. I feel like
I'm like that.
I'm not used to how quick these conferencing things drain your battery. So I didn't know what to expect. It's just like, man, this is my second one today. So
okay.
It's just draining, and I'm like, man, my phone was just not used to it. I guess I've got to.
It's doing the Wi-Fi. I'm gonna think about it, you're having a freaking video conference.
Yes, I know.
You know what I mean?
I should have known. It's amateur hour. My apologies.
100%. I'm blaming you. All your fault. So, okay, Gary Vee. I know it was one of the last few things that we were talking about, and answer this for me. And I know my opinion, and I feel like I know where you're gonna go with it, but I've got to ask you anyway.
Ask away. So,
do you follow Gary Vee 100% and implement his methods?
Yes and no. It depends on a macro or micro level. I believe that his messages are pretty much always to the point, and they pretty much are always on a macro, great advice and great recommendations for the audience. Okay. I think that on a micro, there's obviously a lot of things that he can address. and then you just can't, touch on, because his situation is different than so many other people's. And my reality is different from your reality. Your reality is different from Joe Schmo's reality. Everyone's different. So on a macro, I think that I do agree with majority of what he's coming across with. But obviously, when you break down on a micro, everyone's got to have their own take on what he's saying. Everyone's going to have their own responses or personal connections to the messages. And that's where the message can interchange. And I think that's where a lot of the negativity, I guess, comes, if you kind of sift through his comments a little bit, whether YouTube, Instagram, all the different platforms can come in, because people will, take the messages on the surface and say, well, this doesn't work for me because X, or, well, this is ignorant to say towards these people because X. But you have to create your own reality of it. And I think that this is where the biggest, I guess, disconnection is from it. And in that regard, yes, there is stuff that I can say, I would maybe say a little bit differently or do a little bit differently or try to get across. But from a macro, yeah, I would say that a lot of his message, I believe, is obviously, or majority of, is very great for the audience.
I will say I love him to death. Don't get me wrong. And one thing that he's definitely encouraged me on personally is to stop watching his content.
That is also true.
That is, and I said, because I was one that was digesting so much of his content daily, and I was kind of almost filtering what he said to make it my own, pretty much what you just said.
Which is what you should be doing.
Well, yes and no, because it almost, in my opinion, because it takes away from how I truthfully feel. And so what I had to do was take from him what I needed to boost me, to encourage me to do what I needed to do.
Absolutely.
But when it came down to what I actually deliver my audience, it needed to be authentically me.
Oh, yes. That is 110% truth, yes.
Yeah, and so I definitely, I took his advice. I have the podcast, everything. Like, I have not completely 100% just killed him off, but I'm done. Like, I need to focus on me. And so I definitely took that advice from him, and I was really interested to know how you were going to feel about that. But
I think you're completely in the right in that regard. Yes, and in that sense, absolutely 125%. For me, I don't, as far as consuming content goes, he's pretty much been unanimously the only content I've been consuming.
See, okay, that is awesome, because I got started on the journey and I was just digesting everybody.
Yeah.
And so everyone is just completely different.
Absolutely.
And so you were just focusing on Gary. Okay.
Yeah, and that's because if you get into my background a lot more, there's a lot of similarities even between, whether it's something as simple as, the baseball cards, sports cards, memorabilia aspect of his background, and then getting into, high school and grades and, administration type stuff. And so it was kind of crazy that about 7-8 months ago when I started listening to his content, I went, holy crap. And I'm not at all saying that I'm some crazy business connoisseur, because that is not at all who I am in my core. But a lot of the micros actually kind of linked up to where, there was a lot of similarities there. So a lot of the content, really resonated with me a lot more and I've never been one to consume a lot of motivational or whatever that type of content would be regarded as. So it was really my first introduction to it. And then I tried to branch off and listen to other stuff. And I was like, no, this is where I was meant to, this is where, it was going to take me from here to here. And I just kind of stuck with that. And I consume less than I used to, which is, as you said, his message. Once you start getting the message, the point isn't to keep, sitting there, because you've got to start executing. And the art is in the execution. That's one of my favorite, go off of. So, no, I truly do. Yes, I truly do agree with that.
You brought up a good point, and I got to ask you about this too. Right now you're full of content, and I want to know so much. But
ask away. I'm certainly here.
Okay, well, you got 20%. So
no, I promise you, I did find a way to charge it. I'm plugged in, so I'm good to go. But I'm at 20% right now. But I'm charging. I'm good to go. So
I can't let that one go.
Keep giving me a hard time. I need to learn this lesson. So.
Okay. So you brought up listening to his content, and earlier you brought up you still have a 9 to 5, but you're still pumping out your own content. So what is the end goal for you with your content?
That's a good question, and it's one that I wish I had a better answer for.
Okay.
I truly don't have, it's not like I'm after, 10,000 followers, or once, I'm there, I truly just started this up because as we said before the pause that I made us take, um, it was just made because it was something that I felt that there was a need for, and something that I like a void that I thought that I could personally help fill. And so long as I still feel, that there's a person out there that my content could help and bring value to, there is no end goal, and there's no really, end the line, yellow brick road that I'm following. It's just whatever I feel every day. And that's why there's some days where there's a ton of content and some days where there's none. And that's where it differs, from Gary Vee. As you said, you got to find your own. I'm not posting 3, 4, 5 times a day. I'm posting whenever I feel, it's pushing out, and then there may be a day where there's nothing, or 2 days where there's nothing, because I feel like that's the way that up to this point I've been able to provide the most value, and I'm going to continue trying to do that moving forward. But yeah, in terms of an end goal, there's really not. And the good part about that is that I'm not asking anyone for anything. There's nothing about my channel whatsoever that says that there's, that's being monetized, or that's, going to turn around and say, I have this startup. There's no, gray area. The content's there, and it is what it is. And it may not be as consistent as you like. It may not be as direct, or there may be some music content as opposed to, just positivity or motivation. And I may talk about sports here and there.
I know,
but the authenticness, no, perfectly fine, perfectly fine. And I'm assuming that you're not watching my sports content. I don't, and I love the honesty, and I don't fault you at all for it. That's what I'm saying. But in the fact that there's not, that's what keeps us authentic, and that's what's going to keep this going for me in the long term. And that's why I switched to it being more of a personal blog as opposed to just being, one of the 3, or 4 topics or areas that I typically go over. And that's, I guess, the alternative to it, and that's what's going to keep it going for, it just is what it is. And it is in my free time. So that's why there are days where there's not a lot, and there's days where the videos are less or not as long. And, there's days where I'm more tired noticeably, and the content's maybe not as greatly delivered. But that's just what it is, because I do have a 9-to-5. I'm going to school full time. I have a side hustle business, and there's other, so it's like, it is just a product of, when I'm feeling it, it's going to be there,
That's why I say we're literally walking along this journey together.
It's awesome.
Now, me personally, I do eventually want to turn mine into a talk show, but that has nothing to do with charging the audience. I would never ever want to charge my audience for anything. Like I don't have that.
I love that. Yeah, and not that there's anything wrong with that. If that's your profession, that's what it is. I'll never knock, Yeah, no, and I don't knock that at all. I mean, and you say like you would love to turn it into a talk show. I'd be lying if I said that there weren't thoughts of like, crap, I would love to do a talk show, or I would love to have, a vlog that was, successful, and that, where the videos could be monetized or something like that. I'm not at all, saying some white knight where, I'm always going to be 125, percent this way and selling it today. I would love to get to a point where, this could be a much more impactful part of my life. Correct. But I've got to keep my, lines in order. And I do, have prioritized, where my life is at, and where I'm currently, finding the most enjoyment and being the most, I guess, successful in that sense. So
where are you finding the most enjoyment?
I truly, it's actually been really odd. And a lot of people, specifically at work, kind of take this in an odd way. Okay. My Monday through Friday has actually been my most comfortable area. Really? I'm trying to figure out how to enjoy my weekends more. I love my Monday to Friday schedule, and actually Monday is oddly, and this is no BS, no filter, no. Monday is it may be my favorite day of the week, and it's because I'm back. It's a day where everyone else is kind of sleeping, everyone else is sulking, and you can be that energy to pick up other people, to jump right out of the gate and get a great start on the week. And I've been trying to find ways to make my weekend have that type of purpose, because typically for me,
what's driving that? Is it your work?
I love my job. I love my job. I love what I do. I find myself being more structured with what I'm doing during the week. Okay. Like I get home, I have, I literally have like a perfect schedule. as in, you know, like from 3 until 4, you know, either homework, or then 4 until 5, do a video and stuff like that. Like it's super, I'm a lot more productive Monday through Friday, and I haven't found a way to actually, sitting here today, translate that as much into the weekends. I typically find a way to get myself kind of lost a little bit on the weekends. And it sounds odd, but I don't find relaxation in that. I'm more relaxed when I am hustling, and when I am having a purpose to what, you know, in a structured kind of a sense. Yeah, it's a little bit out of the norm, but I'm trying to work on that as well.
That is completely out of the norm. I love it. Like it is. But yeah. I freaking loved it. I've never heard that before.
I'm glad, but
I love the week. I love the week, Monday through Friday versus the weekends. Like I've never ever heard that. Like that is a tweetable moment. Like I've got.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, whatever content you want to take from it, be my guest. I hope that, you know, and if I can, yeah, it's an interesting thing, and I'm truly trying to find a way to enjoy the weekends more, and not even through, you know, structuring. I don't believe that you have to be working at all times, or, you know, being productive. I did a video on that, on mental rest and stuff. I take as many mental days off as anyone. But it's what you do when you are working at your highest efficiency, and what you are when you are on how much you're accomplishing. But I don't actually really enjoy the weekends being, you know, because on weekends I'm not trying to be on mental rest, and I'm trying to, you know, remain, but there's not the work aspect, and I can do, you know, some videos, but typically I'm not as productive on, I don't know. It's a weird, I've never said it out loud before, but it's absolutely my truth, I guess. So, and I think that's when I'm at my happiest, would be Monday through Friday.
This is the first that I've heard of this as well. Anyone with a 9, well, not the first, probably just really rare, but a 9 to 5, you actually love your job.
Yeah, I love my job, and that's the God honest truth. I've taken a decent amount of less money to stay at my job. I really enjoy what I do.
Money to stay on your job?
I've had more lucrative financial offers to work elsewhere and stuff, but so I've taken less money to stay where I'm at, just because I love the environment. I love the people who I work with. I have an excellent mentor in accounting. I work directly under the CFO, so that's really cool. And it's an aspect also of playing the long-term game. I believe, you know, obviously being directly under the CFO, that there's a lot.
There are a lot of benefits to that.
And there's a lot greener path, as opposed to, I know I can get there on my own, but it'll be a lot more jumping around and stuff. And I'm playing the long game. I think in the long term, it's going to be the most beneficial to me. And if that changes, then I would, you know, maybe change that. But as of where I'm at in my life right now, yeah, I truly love going to work every day. And it's odd. Like,
do you know how rare that is?
Yes, and I realize how blessed that I am to be in that. I absolutely realize how blessed I am to be in that situation. And that's where the Your Average Sutton headline really comes from, is that it is possible because I'm living it. Like, I'm living on someone else's time, on someone else's dime. You know, I'm not leading the company by any stretch. I'm not signing my own paycheck. I don't have people underneath me, you know, who I'm directing or anything like that. But I'm living proof that it's positive to love your 9 to 5 and to love going to work every day. And I believe that situation is out there for everyone. You just have to find it. And my journey took a couple jobs to get there. Some people, it may take 10, 15, 20 years. But once you're there, you can see how it truly is possible. And I realize how blessed and how rare that it is.
You are.
But that's what I'm trying to.
Sutton, like you are. I just want you. I want you to see the honesty in my eyes when I say that.
Yeah, no, like, but you have to realize too that I'm also not saying that every day is roses either, and every day is perfect. It's a mixture of perspective of realizing, you know, how blessed I feel just to be in the position that I am, and to have the other opportunities and have that, you know, opportunity to decide to stay, and like how much I value just really how much I value being there, and how much I value having the position that I do. And not every day is great. I go home from, you know, I have bad days just like everyone else does, but it's at the end of the day, the perspective of just feeling very, very blessed to be where I am, that really, you know, takes that from being a 6 out of 10 enjoyment to a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, you know.
I got you. I'm with you. I joined because I still have a 9 to 5 as well. My job is extremely stressful. On a whole nother level.
Deep breath.
Like, woo! But I'm with you. Like I have direct access to most of the SVPs and most of the VPs and the directors. Like, and I see we actually make decisions to forge
really
the
cool,
company. And so I mean, it's extremely stressful. But like it's really rare. It's really rare that you find a job that you love and
Absolutely
want to stay there. But let me ask you this then. I know, because again, my work 9 to 5 is not the ideal situation. And so I know personally, me doing my positivity videos and the interviews and the conversations, it's a little different when people from work see me doing those things.
Yeah.
So how does that work with you in regards to your motivational content and going to work? Are people at work like consuming your content?
So is the question more centered around how do people at work take my content?
Correct. And how do they take it, and how does it affect you at work?
Truthfully, I don't hear a whole lot of feedback from people at work. I know that they see it because they like it and engage with it. But but like at the office and stuff, outside of them just saying, hey, how's the stuff going, this and that, there's not a whole lot of discussions on, specifically, I guess, the topic of the channel or anything like that, which is kind of interesting now that you mention it. Yeah, I never really get a whole lot of feedback face-to-face, I guess, at the office. Maybe a lot of them don't know it, but it's not something that's hidden. It's not something that's, I'm not exactly putting it on email blast or to our company email, but in the same breath, I'm not also hiding it. So,
you know what? Now that I need to do that.
Actually, I think I'm going to go to work tomorrow and I'm going to send out like, hey, check out my stuff, give me some views. Yeah, I could use a view count. Like,
I think I'm going to do that. Like joking.
Send me a screenshot if you do. Send me a screenshot if you
like outdo. Like we had to, like I said, we had to work. Like we work Monday through Friday typically.
Yeah.
We work this Saturday, and I wasn't being a disgruntled employee or anything. I was like, if I'm going to work this Saturday, then damn it, I'm going in the way that I want. And I had on one of my inspirations.
There it is. I love it. Heck yeah.
It was the funniest thing ever. But
I love it.
The people at my job, like, they're not the most positive. And again, it's not the best environment, but they consume my content. And so
really cool, yeah.
It is the weirdest thing.
I'm sure it is.
It is so weird. Like they watch and they consistently watch, and I just
that is really cool though. It's something that maybe I'll try even pushing a little bit differently.
I will say in the beginning of the journey, it like the first few months, it was kind of shaky, kind of like you not shaky, but it was just
it's not as streamlined, and you're getting used to it.
Exactly. But
Absolutely.
They kind of helped me stay on track. Like knowing that you're watching
keeps you honest a little bit, yeah.
It keeps me right on my toes, and so I loved that. I freaking love that. So like hey, positivity guy, like yeah, you're right. Let me
heck yeah.
Let me get back on track. So it definitely helped. It definitely helped. Okay,
absolutely. And another thing I like to kind of say is like where what's really odd, and you want to talk about loving what you do, or and kind of building on that discussion, is if I got to a point where this was monetizable, or this got to a level where it could become a full-time thing, which obviously I'd be lying to you if I said I don't hope it gets there, because the bigger platform you have, the more people you can reach, the more you can do, and naturally when you get to that, yes, that other stuff can come along with it. And I would love to do speaking engagement, stuff like that. And that would be awesome, I'm sure, as a lot of people would. But I don't think I would ever get to a point where I wouldn't want to keep doing finance in the accounting field. I really don't. And that's the God honest truth. If I got to a point where I would feel lost kind of without it, it's been second nature to me since I was 15, in the workforce since I was 17. And it's something that I truly do enjoy doing. And that's the God honest answer, is that if you told me, I could retire tomorrow, I would probably still go into work. Yeah. Even if you set me up financially, I could, sit at home and do the videos and do whatever, and I'd be set. I'd probably still go into work, and that's the God honest answer.
I can respect you for that. I respect you for that on a whole nother level. I mean, because especially if you have found an environment that not only are you comfortable in, but you're able to be authentically you 100%
Absolutely.
of the time, and take the good and the bad with that, and being able to just flourish. Like, dude, I have so much respect for you for that. You know,
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
obviously it's not necessarily about the money. Apparently, it's not
Yeah.
necessarily about the money. It's about being you, and it's about, you know, doing what you like.
And it's about feeling, yeah, and then like feeling where you're valued, and it's a sense that I really do have, you know, like I've always had in the field. So it's like it's something that I wouldn't necessarily give up because, as you said, it is above money,
And
you know, and I've proved that, you know, and I've actually executed on that, and so it's just so it is, you know, yeah, no, it's just something that, yeah, it's certainly a kind of an odd addition, and I know one that a lot of people typically work until they, you know, find until their side hustle takes off, this and that. But I'm a little bit backwards in that sense. That actually I know where I'm home and I know where I'm grounded.
I'm with you. I call it being unorthodox. Like everything.
Yes, no, I'm perfectly fine.
Unorthodox. Like everything. So
yeah.
I'm with you. I got just a couple more questions.
Yeah.
And daily rituals. Like, do you do anything consistently every single day that's just a must for you?
As in like, I mean, because I'm very, very structured in terms of like work schedule, but it changes day to day. And like but every Monday's the same, every 2 days, like Tuesday's the same, Wednesday's the same, and so on and so forth. But do you mean like every single day, like Sunday through Saturday, Monday through Friday? What's
every single day? Like, what is keeping you happy? What is keeping you along this positivity track? What's keeping you honest? Because I mean, is it just genetics? Is it your environment itself that you're just really, you know, thrilled about going to, or meditation, spirit, whatever? It's like, what is it about you that's keeping you structured?
Yeah, I would say that, you know, Monday through Friday, I wake up every morning, 4:30, and I take 15 or 20 minutes or so every morning and just kind of give thanks and, you know, kind of like have a sit down moment, you know, where you just think about all the positives in life, you know, you think about everything that's going right, this and that. I don't consider it to be meditation. I don't really meditate. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure that it helps a ton of people. I typically don't, but maybe that is my form of meditation, I guess, is that, you know, 15, 20 minutes. But outside of that, I don't know if there's anything consistently that I would say I do every single day. That would be the only reoccurring thing that has to do with. Otherwise, it's just enjoying every day. And I think it's gradually over time, it's been a path of getting to this point. You know, it's not something that's overnight, just like anything in life. Exactly. But actually just take every moment for what it is, or try to take every moment for what it is. And it's hard to get out of that mindset once you're in it in a very good way of being, you know, positive and feeling blessed. And yeah, just like feeling positive and blessed towards every moment, you know, and it's like, no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to try to make the most of it. And I don't know if I would say that's the most consistent thing for me day in and day out, is just my mindset. It's not necessarily something that keeps me in track. It just is the way that I think. And it's gradually became this way over the last 3, 4, you know, whatever years. And even through the down kind of, you know, times where I wasn't in this perspective, but it led me to this, you know. So everything that's happened up to this point has led me to be in this, you know, I guess, environment or mindset that I continuously put myself in. But I don't know if there's anything that puts me in it. It just is what it is.
When I say I love it, I'm going to simplify that so quickly. And I'm going to actually tweet that out too, and I'm going to tag your name in that.
Go for it. I love it. No, do it.
But positivity is just in your
Yes. It is.
I love that, because that's it. You know, like it's there's not meditation. It's not something that's putting you here in this mood. It's who you are.
It's just who you are. It's just who you are at your core. Exactly. And I think, yeah, and I think that's what, you know, people think, like you talk about the workplace and you think about, okay, well, why does the workplace work for me so well? My workplace, why I think it's a good foundation and a structural environment of, you know, being kind of family-like and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it's still 100 and some employees, and 100 and some employees aren't necessarily all going to always be happy gun ho, but you realize why my perspective of it may be different than someone else's at the same company, but it's because I try to bring value to everyone else first. I try to be positive every single day at work. So my natural interactions with people are always going to be better too. So why do you like your job so much? It's all linked. It's all linked together. I'm sure that, you know, someone could have my same job in the same position, doing the same task with the same people, could say that the job sucks and that they hate it. I'm sure of that. So it's like a combination of everything, you know. It's mindset, it's perspective, it's approach, it's positivity. It's just a combination of everything. And I think that that's what it all comes down to. But it is, you know, the positivity is such a driving force behind that.
You know what, Sutton? I'm going to say this to you too. Like it's something I've learned recently, and I try to teach it almost in everything that I do. But it's about listening to your intuition, and how your intuition quite literally is your guide, like your personal guide to kind of help you stay in your lane. Like not to say don't experiment, not to say not to do all your own, you know, different things, but staying in the lane that was defined for you as a person.
Absolutely.
And in that way, you don't have to worry about trying to keep up with the Joneses or keep up with Gary or keep up with Oprah. If you're on your own trajectory, you know what I mean? And that's all in the lane.
And that's all centered around being self-aware and having the self-esteem. You know, self-awareness to know who you are, and then self-esteem to be confident in that and be proud of that.
Exactly. But see, when you have all of that, and you have that package, and you have the ability to listen to what your intuition is telling you, you're able to find that job that you have obviously found. You know what I mean? And then be happy within that. And I'm like, a lot of times, and I'm honestly, I'm guilty of it too, again, which is why I'm where I am right now in my 9 to 5, chasing money. At the time, that's exactly what I was doing. Will not hide that fact. But, you know, chasing money and now trying to sustain that lifestyle that I've created has really made me extremely unhappy because I did not listen to what I should have been listening to. And, you know, and so now it has definitely created it comes with the good and it comes with the bad. And I'm learning so much. And I will say now I'm waiting on that next opportunity to just open up, and I'm jumping. Like I've now learned to listen to my intuition so that I can find something like yours, you know, where I fit perfectly and where I can use every bit of me and just love being me.
Absolutely. And I certainly wish that, and obviously reach out whenever too, if I can ever be of value to that. Certainly let me know. But, and also another note, two of them that I kind of got when you were saying that was, it's not also just like the job, you know, like I'm not blind to the fact that tomorrow I can go to work, I sold the business, some shit happened, and it's over. I firmly believe also that the dream carries along to other positions too. So it's not like, you know, an end-all thing. I give a lot of props to my job, the place that I'm employed at, for, you know, the way that it is, obviously, hence why I've stayed there. But I know that, you know, it wouldn't, this happiness and this positivity isn't wrapped up in any one thing. And it's wrapped up in who I am as a person, and that's going to be let out wherever I am, whether that's at this job, whether that goes south and it's another position. It's not wrapped up in anything but myself, because that's at the end of the day what you have. You can, I think when you try to put your happiness into material things, people, things like money, it's always going to be fleeting. But when you wrap your happiness around who you are and yourself, you're always going to have that, you know, and when you don't, well, that means you're no longer here. So that's a whole nother story. But
that's make me cry. Like, I swear you about to make me cry, because that is so beautiful. Because it's about being in that moment and in taking those moments for what they are.
Absolutely, 125%.
And allowing yourself, like, because it's just something that I got a spiritual mentor probably about 6 or 7 months ago. And so I've gotten off into meditating and being in the moment and listening to nature and just kind of loving who I am. Like,
it's beautiful, yeah.
It is so, but anyway, I'm saying that because once you're able to do that, and really just kind of love where you are in that exact moment, and no different than us having this conversation.
Absolutely.
In this moment, and not necessarily trying to find a structure to how I want this conversation to go.
There's no ROI on this talk for either of us right now. It just is what it is.
It's being in the moment, answering honest, and having a conversation. And I'm like, and when you're able to do that and just kind of let it go, let it flow, and let it do its own thing.
Absolutely.
And you'll get to where you've always wanted to.
And that's exactly it. And that's exactly it. That's just where it's just where life happens. It is, and then you learn to enjoy the journey, which is the journey is all we have. Too many people are destination living. You set like. I'll keep going with the thought, but your reaction was awesome. I loved it. You know, it's like if you're chasing the car or the house, once you get it, like I had a goal of, this is always gonna be my first car. This is gonna be a blah blah blah. I was able to attain that, I think at 19. And once I got it, I was lucky to have that moment so early on, because I had, you have a car for a couple weeks and all right, cool. Now what? And you can live your whole life destination searching, but then you're only going to have that one smidgen part of enjoyment when you're shopping for the car, when you're shopping for the house, or when you first, meet this person, and then it's gone. The big thing is the journey of getting there. When you love, each and every day to get there, now it's like, it's like when you're looking for a house or whatever, it's like, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed when I get it, because then it's like, oh crap, now now I've got to find something else to go after, and it's like, I want to love, you don't want to streamline your life. I think the movie was Click or whatever Adam Sandler movie. I'm not trying to give it a plug, but it's like where you can fast. He finds the remote or something like that.
Yeah.
He finds the remote and he like fast forwards, and then it's a big ending of, oh, you realize life is in the small things. But it is true. It is in life. Life is in that crappy drive to work where you're stuck in traffic. Your life is in when you're having that stressful conversation with your significant other. That is life. And that's where life happens, and that's what you have to make worthwhile. It's not the promotion, it's not the house, the car, this or that. Life is in the journey, and if you're not enjoying your journey, that means you're not enjoying your life. So it is just destination living is a huge, I think, cancer to happiness, and that's something else. If you can really press and try to get people off of that and to realize and truly be able to comprehend that, you can do a great deal of good.
Okay, this is why you live in the moment.
Yes.
Because that is a perfect segue to my very last question. It's actually, I know. Right?
No. I'm loving this. I can do this all day.
And it's a question that I asked every last one of my guests. Like, I kid you not. But how do you define success and happiness? Like, what does it look like for you?
That is an awesome question. I just did a quote picture on this, I think 2 days ago. And I think it's create your own definition of success. So it's funny that you asked me that, because now I have to define mine instead of telling people to define theirs. I love that. I swear, if I didn't know better, you wanted to prefix that you ask everyone it, I would have thought you were just doing your research and asked me that based on mine. I was like, damn, you're real good. No.
I told you, organic, man. Organic.
My definition of success is waking up happy every day. It doesn't matter what the environment is. It's truly being happy with what you have. And as long as you have your loved ones, you have your ability to have food on the table. I don't need some huge house. I don't need fancy car. If you have people who love you, care about you, positive influence in your life, at the end of the day, people are what we have. People are what it is. You don't take money to the grave. You don't take cars, houses, any sort of material objects. What your last moments are going to be defined by are the people that you interact with, and your moments and those feelings, those couple instances, that feeling in your gut when you have, those breathtaking moments in life and stuff like that. So that's success, is allowing yourself to realize that those are the moments that you're after, and not, and as long as I can keep that mindset and keep that, thought process to wake up and realize, today I'm just going to try to make the most out of whatever happens, out of whatever situations I'm put in, that's pretty much being successful to me. Because the money's fleeting. So long as there's people who are millionaires, billionaires who are unhappy, and people who have pennies on the dollar, so long as there's people who are millionaires, who are depressed, and then there's people who have, pennies on the dollar who are happy, that it's all about perspective, and it's all about how you approach and find, your own situation and create your own definition of success. And that's basically what it comes down to. So that's how I would define it for myself. Is just being in this mindset all the time. If this is my life, it's going to be a very, 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 very fun and exciting one. And so I rambled a little bit there, but
no, dude, we're having a conversation. Wow. Son, dude, you're full of knowledge.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You really are, and we all can learn so much from that, and I mean that honestly, as genuinely as I possibly can say it. I really do mean that.
Thank you. And hearing stuff like that truly means the world. It really does. I really do appreciate that.
Oh my gosh, this is one that I'm going to have to play back over and over.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, feel free to plug any content you want off of it. Obviously, I'm going to try to use what I can from it as well. So it'll certainly be a two-way street, you know.
I gotcha. Well, Sutton, I thank you again, actually, man, for saying yes. I really do appreciate that, and it really blew my mind to find somebody that's on the same journey, that's just not asking for anything in return, and realistically, it's just wanting to put more positivity into the world. Like that's realistically all that we're doing. And
it's all legacy. Yep.
Being who we are, and again, I love that, and I thank you again.
Yes, and I really do appreciate you having me as well. It was great talking with you. We'll have to do it again sometime.
We will. Like, seriously, it doesn't have to be recorded next time. Like, I'm totally okay with that. Like, seriously.
Next time I'll make sure to charge up too, so I don't.
That's going to be a requirement. That's going to be question number 100%.
I'm going to get 100% ready to go.
That's going to be question number 1. Are you 100% charged?
Are you 100% charged? Because otherwise, shut it off and we'll come back to it later.
Exactly. Return to sender. I got you, man. Are there any more final words that you want to leave the audience with?
I would say just check me out on Instagram, Your Average Sutton, Facebook, YouTube, and I don't use Twitter, but if you feel free to, the content's just kind of regurgitated on there. Those are Sutton Sabinash if you want to follow me. If you absolutely hated it, then never check out my stuff. That's perfectly fine. But I really do appreciate you having me on the show. It really does mean a lot.
It's so fun. Like I linked up my Twitter with Instagram, so like the only time you see me post is like coming from Instagram. Like,
yeah, that's pretty much. And I know that's not good. I know I should have my own Twitter audience, and I haven't gotten it. It's not for me. It's not for me. But that's one man's opinion.
Two
men's opinion. There it is.
Even on Facebook, like I've hidden a lot of information. Like I've hidden a lot of friends, and I've blocked a lot of it because I don't want that in my life. Like I can't. At least I feel like I'm not strong enough just yet to see it or deal with it. And so like
I've seen a lot of growth and stuff. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter just doesn't have that type of reception. And maybe it's because I'm not joining in the water cooler talk of it, and I'm just pushing instead of. I just haven't seen it. And it just hasn't worked for me.
It's still not.
Yeah, whatever.
So sorry, Twitter. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Twitter. I'm not invested. Like
at all.
Well, thank you so much.
Son, enjoy your Sunday.
You as well.
And positive vibes.
I look forward to seeing how it turns out. Have a good one.
I know. I can't wait. This is gonna be funny.
Have a good one.
All right, son. Thanks again.
Bye.
OMG. Okay, you totally just received some excellent knowledge, and I know that you loved it. If you did truthfully love it, I need your help. By all means, share this podcast with everyone that you know. Don't hold all of this knowledge to yourself. We need your ratings, we need your reviews, we need your comments, and we need your shares. But only share it, only comment if you received some damn good knowledge today. I know that you did, so I'll wait on your reviews to start coming in. Okay, until the next one. See ya.